Everyone's doing well on this fantastic Friday morning. Welcome to Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities. Thank you for being here. As always, brought to you by IngersollEnterprises.com. Sorry. So, IngersollEnterprises.com. So, thank you for that. We got a lot of great things coming up. I'm sure you've seen my posts earlier today and whatnot. Sorry, give me just 1 second here. Just gotta get a couple things straightened up on the other thing. Sorry. But anyways, lots of great things. So as always, passion, purpose, and possibilities every Friday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Wealth and Riches on Monday nights at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. And then tomorrow we have a real estate investment summit that I will be part of. So, and talking about investing in your first property in 90 days or less and how to get that set up. And I'll be talking about positive mindset and how that ties into investing, life, business, general. And then we have a rapid scaling workshop with Tanmay Snap. So a lot of great things coming up. We also have, I am doing a money mindset workshop on Wednesday, November 9th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And I am doing a goal setting workshop on Saturday, November 12th at 1 p.m. All Mountain Standard Time. And that will be listed on the website as well. So IngersollEnterprises.com/events to find more info there. Again, IngersollEnterprises.com/events. Excuse me. So today we have a great guest, Christine Errico, born with a bilateral cleft lip and palate. Throughout her life, she has had more than 20 surgeries. Beginning when she was 2 months old and ending in her late 20s. Her appearances caused her to be bullied constantly at school, and she was told that she would never amount to anything because of the stigma attached to having a facial difference. As an adult, she faced numerous challenges, including an abusive marriage, borderline personality disorder, and other mental issues. Today, she holds a PhD in business administration and accounting and has been a college professor for more than 12 years. She owns multiple businesses and advocates for cleft lip and palate community. Christine is certified confidence and transformation coach and works with adults who have a cleft lip and palate and other facial anomalies to help them improve their self-acceptance and self-esteem. Very important. As part of her commitment to strengthen the cleft community, Christine traveled to Africa and Colombia to meet with children who have cleft lip and palate and to gain a deeper understanding of the work Smile Train does. Oh, come on. Sorry. Well, without further ado, let's bring on Christine.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And thank you for having me today.
Oh, thank you for being on. Sorry about that echo. I do apologize for that. But it's great to have you on. So I can relate to a lot of this third hand because I've had some family members with cleft lip and the issues that they've gone through, the struggles and stuff. So tell us a little more about your journey and how you how you were able to get past it as well.
Hmm. Absolutely. So I was born with a bilateral cleft lip and palate, and for your audience that may not know what that is, simply put, it's when the lip or the palate or both does not properly form before birth. This leaves a gap that can extend from the lip into the nose and sometimes the palate. As a result, it leads to difficulty eating, drinking, speaking, breathing, all of the normal functions. I had more than 20 surgeries, as you mentioned, to repair and close the lip. And of course, that left scars on my upper lip, as you can see. And because of that, I was constantly bullied as a child. I was teased. Teachers told me I would never amount to anything. They thought that having the facial difference and also the amount of school that I missed because of all the surgeries meant that I lacked intelligence and I lacked knowledge, which couldn't be further from the truth. It was very difficult growing up with all the teasing and the bullying because I felt like a monster. I felt different. I couldn't understand most of the time what was going on, other than I needed these surgeries. But I didn't understand specifically why and what it meant and why I was being treated the way I was, why I was treated differently. My mother kept telling me I was normal. I was a normal child. There was nothing wrong with me, which contradicted what I saw and felt and how I was treated. So that kind of contributed a little bit more to the cognitive dissonance that I had. In that, well, if she tells me I'm normal, why am I being treated this way? So it was very challenging growing up, and as a result, I had to learn to overcome adversity, to build my own confidence. But that was a journey that took me most of my life to get to that point of being confident and even being able to talk about my cleft lip. For the majority of my life until I was about 47 years old, I denied having a cleft lip. I refused to talk about it with anyone. If anybody asked, I would just say I was born this way and shut them down. I That was my coping mechanism, which was not the best, but it's what I had to do to survive.
And it's unfortunate that because we may have a little bit of a outward difference, we're treated so negatively, and it shouldn't be that way. And I commend you for wanting to share your message and do that. As I've grown up watching family go through that stuff, I can totally relate. And um not having a cleft lip myself, but having some um, teeth work that needed to be done, some major teeth work. I kind of experienced some of the similar things and stuff, and knowing what that was. Um, but I love how you are open and you're out here sharing your message, and you ultimately didn't let it shut you down about your
Absolutely.
life and message and purpose. So thank you for being here. That is tremendous. That's awe-inspiring to me. To have you just showing up here is awesome. So well, yeah, I love that. Now you've got PhDs. You've been to Africa. So when I first read that, I was like, oh, I'll show you kind of thing. I was like, I may have this and I may be bullied, but I can still do this over here. So I love that. And how did that help? You talked about it a little bit. Excuse me. Let's talk about how that helped your confidence and your drive, your passion even more because of how you were treated growing up and because of how the conflicting messages threw you in a
Mhm.
whirlspin.
Absolutely. Well, growing up, I was always told, and I believed that I was not perfect. I was not even normal. So I think looking back and for a lot of self reflection, it drove me to try to be perfect in other ways, whether it's, my intelligence, whatever I set myself out to do. And yes, to go ahead and prove the naysayers wrong when they said, oh, you'll never amount to anything. Like you said, it was almost resistant attitude and, that rebelliousness and say, I will show you. I can be good enough. I can be perfect. And so that's what drove me to accomplish the things that I did. But to be totally honest, I never would have expected that I would have been the advocate that I am today for the cleft community. My major background was in teaching. I love teaching. I love helping people. I was an accounting professor for more than 10 years, and that's, where my PhD is in business and accounting. But what I realized over the years is that while I strive to be the best at everything I could, it was not my true purpose and passion. Like I said, it was about 5 years ago that I found my voice and my drive to really be an advocate for the cleft community. And that was because of a Facebook group I found not long after my mother passed away. I was lonely. She was my advocate. She was the only person who kind of understood what I was going through. So, in a desperate attempt to combat the loneliness, I searched Facebook. I found a group of cleft affected adults. And when I joined the group, it was like a whole new world to me. I could connect with others who understood what I went through, understood what I was feeling. And through that group, I was introduced to Smile Train and the opportunity to volunteer on their Cleft Community Advisory Council, which is a committee that helps strengthen global communications and improve education within the world about cleft lip and palate. So it was really a process and a journey of accepting myself, building that confidence around talking about my cleft. The Facebook group helped, my work with Smile Train helped. And I realized this is where I'm meant to be. This is my passion. I get to help people, which I love. I also get to educate, which is another, a very important topic to me, is to educate society about cleft lip and palate. And little by little, I realized there is nothing wrong with me. I am totally fine. I'm normal. I just may look different, but that doesn't change who I am, my intentions, and my heart. And I started to build on that and build that confidence and say, I can go out and I can help people. I can help them realize that they have other people out there who look similar to them, help strengthen that community, and help them feel less isolated by sharing my experiences.
Absolutely. And it is so important and crucial that we understand that we may look a little different, or talk or sound or whatever. I'm left-handed. A lot of people thought that was weird in school.
Mhm.
I like country music, and when I went to school, that was like the worst thing you could be, kind of thing, and having the speech impediment that I had with my dental work and stuff, there's nothing wrong with that, and
Mhm.
and it's sad that we have to, and I like how you also realize that you can define what is normal, what is not normal, and we're trying to be, society tries to put us in this box of normal, but we're not supposed to be all cookie cutter,
Mhm.
and we're not supposed to be all the same. I think of the movie I, Robot with Will Smith, and
Mhm.
every robot looks exactly the same, acts exactly the same, does what they're told, without question, before the computer went AWOL. And then there's the one that realizes he's different and ends up helping save the world, essentially. It makes a big impact, you
Mhm.
know, and I like that because we're different for a reason. God gave us these challenges, these differences, these whatever you want to call them, for a reason, or he allowed them to happen for a reason. Sometimes we may never know that reason. Sometimes it's for a path that we may not discover for 20 years. You know, um, I venture to say that you wouldn't have connected with Smile Train or that Facebook group and met those great people had you not had the previous experiences in life.
Mhm.
And I also venture to say that you are very grateful that you have now connected with those people and done those things. And so I think of it as a opportunity to grow. Okay, why do I have this? Why is this happening to me? What can I learn from it? Who can I help? And then especially as you realize that there are others in that community that can help you, but more importantly, that you can help as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then being true to yourself, as you stated, is key. It's who you are. And so I thank you for bringing that up and following your heart, because so many times we do try to fit in, we do suppress who we are, we do want to not talk about or ignore or shut down our problems or things that we're going through because we want to fit in, because it may be embarrassing or uncomfortable at the time and stuff. So, but it shouldn't be that way, And so, thank you again for sharing that message and wanting to help others be able to explore those channels as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You're very welcome. And, you made a lot of great points there. Growing up, it was a lot easier to shut down and deny myself, deny how I look, because it meant avoiding having those uncomfortable conversations. It meant avoiding having the attention brought to me. And for me, that was, the last thing I wanted was anybody to look at me or ask me what was wrong. But what I realized is that by shutting down, I was denying who I was. I was denying my true self and what I was meant to be doing, but I was also contributing to the lack of knowledge that was out there in the world about cleft lip and palate. I believe that one of the reasons why I was so bullied so often was lack of knowledge. We are afraid of what we don't know. We are afraid of that which looks different. And especially children, when they're not aware of why someone looks different and they're bullied and they start bullying because they're scared, that's their defense mechanism. As a child, it's very hard to understand, and I was able to grasp that more as an adult. But what I've learned is through educating, whether it's children and adults, and through educating society, we no longer have to be afraid of someone who has a cleft lip and palate or someone who has a facial anomaly, because now we understand it. It's not something that, I've had children that thought that they were going to catch the same thing that I had, that they were going to look like me if they spent time with me, if they touched me, if even they sat next to me in class. And that all came from a lack of knowledge. And once I told them, no, I was born this way, you're not going to get it, it kind of helped, but they still couldn't fully understand. So that's a large part of my mission, is to educate, raise that awareness. One of the points that I'm so passionate about is the statistic for cleft lip and palate. The incidence is 1 in 700 babies worldwide. Interestingly, that's the same statistic as Down syndrome, is 1 in 700. Almost everybody heard of Down syndrome. Even children can recognize the characteristics. Adults know what causes it. It's, there's no question about when you see someone with Down syndrome nowadays. But when people see someone with a cleft lip and palate, like me or other people I know, there's still that question, that lack of knowledge, that wondering what it is. I've had people ask me, did I have an accident? They thought the surgeries were from an accident or something happened to me. Children in school said things like, well, did you get kicked in the face by a horse? Or they thought my mother got kicked in the stomach while she was pregnant. Even some of the doctors and dentists I went to who were not fully educated on cleft lip and palate thought it was a surgery gone wrong, or there was something that, I fell and I busted open my lip and that's what the scars were from. And so that kind of fuels my passion to continue to educate and to continue to raise that awareness around cleft lip and palate and what it means.
Yeah, and education is so important, and I think that's a teaching moment that we can use as well. Something that's hard for us to remember, because we instantly have that defense mechanism of wanting to shut it down. Don't make fun of me. You don't know what it's like and all that stuff. But instead, we want to educate and help, and sometimes we can even have a laugh with it in the right moment and stuff. And for example, I had two teeth growing up here in the same place, and so it left a gap right here. And I would use it as a laughing moment, and I could fit a straw through there and close my teeth completely around it. And so I would have fun with that, and kind of like make light of the moment. Oh, hi, Michael. My son's on my wife's YouTube, and so, anyways, but I would have fun in that, and then go into a little bit of a teaching moment. No, this is what happened and whatever. But it also helped me remember, like you said, they don't understand it because they're not living with it like I am, like you are. So just a little bit of that lack of knowledge, and then also I learned growing up, it wasn't always this case, because I'll admit I did some of the teasing myself, but knowing, I just lost my train of thought, sorry. But yeah, remembering to remember that, because like I said, our instant defense is to shut it down and yell at them for teasing you, but not remembering that they don't understand, so they're completely, like you said, unaware or scared of it or afraid of it because it's different and stuff. So
Right.
So it's a teaching moment for everyone, and it's inspiring, to be able to watch the people grow around you as you teach them, and others in the community and stuff, and then see them learn and whatever, and then especially when they start to come around and understand and accept better, and then they start defending you. There's been many cases of that where they go from bullying to defending, and just by the teaching moments that we do and remembering, they don't understand it, it's a little different, and then also remembering it's a reflection of who we are by how we respond.
Exactly. And that's a large part too. It's, growing up, I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of cynicism. I struggled with that because of how I was treated, because of what, I was born with a cleft lip. I kept wondering why I felt like I was being punished. And so it's very easy to become a very cynical, angry person. But what I realized, that's not me, that's not who I am, that's not my nature. And so rather than be angry at the people who bullied me, I understood that where it was coming from. I worked very hard to try to understand their perspective and why they were bullying me, and not be angry at them, but to realize it was just, that it was fear. And I also realized, I learned that holding on to that anger, whether it's because I was born this way, because I was bullied, all the surgeries I had, it's not going to change how I look. It's not going to change the fact that I was born with a cleft lip and palate, and it only is going to make me miserable and lead to endless suffering. So instead, I've learned to, basically just embrace who I was and realize that, make the best of it. I've adopted a very positive attitude to say, okay, if I can't change this, all the surgeries in the world, all the plastic surgery isn't going to make me look any different. I'm going to accept myself for who I am and work to be, work to do good and work to contribute back in other ways, because I know that I am valuable. It took me a long time to realize my self-worth and to realize that I have so much to give back. But that's, once I realized that, it was kind of like a whole new opportunity, or a path of opportunities to give back.
Absolutely. Some of our best advancements come from our hardest struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And again, being a man of faith, I believe that God puts those in our path because He knows what's coming in our future, and so it's going to help us be ready for that. Because I think if we didn't go through these experiences, whatever they may be, we wouldn't understand that. We wouldn't be ready for this opportunity, for this other struggle, opportunity, whatever it may be in the future. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you mentioned earlier about my involvement and my work with Smile Chain, where I went to Kenya, Africa, to meet with the children there. I went to Colombia, and I do believe that if I had not gone through this experience, having traveled, even if I had the opportunity to travel to visit the hospitals and the children there, I wouldn't have had the same experience when I went there. I wouldn't have made the same connections. I wouldn't be able to relate to the children that I met and the people I met. I remember when I went to Colombia, it was early in May of 2022 this year. I met a mother and a daughter, both who had a cleft lip and palate, and to talk to them and meet them and hear their stories, we had that special connection. Even though we came from different continents, different cultural backgrounds, we were different ages, there was still that connection that we could just look at each other and know what we were feeling to an extent, know what it was like. And that was so unique. And to be able to share with them and to tell the young girl that, hey, you have a bright future ahead of you. You can do anything you want. And then to see the mother where she came from and her confidence, it was so inspiring and so heartwarming to know that we are not alone. Because for me growing up, I hardly saw anybody else with a cleft lip and palate. I felt isolated. I felt alone. I felt like I was the only person in the world. And so once I realized that I wasn't, after joining Smile Train, meeting other people, it just changed everything about me. It just changed everything for my life. And it helped me realize that, okay, I am not alone.
Absolutely, and that is crucial. Having that support group, like we talked about earlier, and knowing how much you know how much those differences don't make us different in some ways. We're it's not like we're oh well, what am I? It's we're still human. We're still got value and stuff. We're just a little different. No different than someone with a missing pinky. No different with someone with a missing tooth, or left-handed, or whatever. You may walk with a little bit of a limp, or whatever. There's no difference. We all need that support. We all need that education, and we're all here for a reason. We all have great potential. We all have great futures. We're all here for a reason, and I commend you for sharing and helping others realize that that we may look a little different, we may talk or act or whatever. We all still the same, in the same mission, the same life, same goal to help each other, to help mankind.
Right.
And there's so many ways we can help. Like you said, you were able to get a PhD and then some, and to not only prove the naysayers wrong, which sometimes that seems like the best revenge ever, but to prove yourself right, to build that confidence in saying, I can do this. If I had this or this or this or whatever, and I could still do this, others can too, and I can use that for good. And I love that. And you mentioned Smile Train again, going there and stuff, and they have a event coming up, correct?
Yes, they do. In December 10th, they're going to have their annual virtual cleft conference. It's free to anybody who wants to join. It's a great a couple of hour event on a Saturday afternoon where you can join. You can hop into little different live webinars. I'm going to be a speaker there, and you can learn about cleft lip and palate, some of the new advances, both from the mental and the medical side. You can talk to other adults that have a cleft lip and palate. There's going to be many fabulous speakers. It's just a great day to connect with parents of children who have a cleft lip, with adults like myself with a cleft lip, to hear fabulous speakers. Some of the topics in the past have been dating challenges, feeding for babies with a cleft. My topic this year is going to be talking about building your confidence and the elements that go into improving your self-confidence and your self-esteem. And this is their third year that they're doing it. Their third year that they're doing the virtual one. And just this past summer, Smile Train held their first annual in-person craft conference in Chicago, which was wildly successful. I was privileged to be part of it, very grateful for the opportunity. And given the success, they're going to hopefully try to do it again in future years to hold a virtual and an in-person conference so that virtual, anybody around the world can attend, easy to attend, just hop online. In person, if you're able to travel, they're going to try to have it in different locations. So yeah, it's a very exciting event, very, very informative.
That sounds amazing. Where can people find the info to be part of that?
On my website, I will have a link to the Smile Train virtual conference once the registration is open. It's not open just yet, but there will be a registration link. It's free registration, just so that they know that you're attending. And then also on the Smile Train website, smiletrain.org. My website is christineerrico.com. Maybe you can put it in the link in the comments, but just Google my name. It's very easy to find. And once the registration is open, I'll post the link there so anybody can register and hopefully see all of your audience members there.
Awesome. So give me 1 second here. I am perfect.
Thank you.
So yeah, go there. You'll find all the information to connect with Christine. And then when the information is available and the registration is open for the Cleft Conference, it will be on there as well. And Christine, thank you so much for being on here today and sharing your message. I love that you're not letting it shut you down, but you're doing quite the opposite. You've got a megaphone, so to speak, and you're just helping others share their message as well. So thank you so much for being here. Anything else you would say to people, maybe not specifically with cleft lip or anything, but some anomaly?
To anybody struggling in general with your self-esteem, their appearance, feeling comfortable with body issues, I do have a free ebook that I wrote. You can download when you go to my website. You can go ahead and download it. It's called How to Be Comfortable in Your Own Skin. And in that book, I have tips on building your self-confidence, self-acceptance, journal prompts. And the main tip, the main important thing that I like to offer is to realize that you are beautiful and unique just the way you are. It's not worthwhile to compare yourself to anyone else, but to realize your own value and realize that you've made it this far in the world with your appearance. There is nothing wrong with you. People have accepted you, your family, your friends, co-workers, they've accepted you. So it's important to see yourself as others see you, which is beautiful, positive, valuable, and to just realize that you have so much to give and so many talents and just focus on that.
Absolutely. I concur 100%. And it's not you against someone else. It's you, being yourself and stuff and sharing your light. So thank you so much for that. Again, go to her website, christineerrico.com. You can find that ebook. You can connect with her. You'll find the information on the Smile Train Cleft Conference when it's available. A lot of great resources there. A lot of great people to connect with through Christine. So please go find that out. And again, thank you so much for being here, Christine. And thank you for... let me share this. See, right here.
Yes. Hi, Jane. Thank you.
Absolutely. There is support for what you are going through. And if you need support, again, reach out to Christine and she'll help you. And if she's got a lot of connections that she can put you in touch with. And, so there's a lot of great support, a lot of great resources. So please reach out if you're struggling with whatever. Cleft lip, missing tooth, moles all over, you like country music, whatever it is, reach out and ask for the support. Find the help that you may need. There's a lot of great people, a lot of great resources that can help you through your journey. And especially when you know that you're not alone in your journey. It's so much better and makes it so much easier to go through that journey with others. So, Christine, please keep sharing your message and keep using that megaphone and connecting with others and helping them. And everyone for tuning in, please reach out to Christine, and thank you for being here. And as always, remember to live your passion, fulfill your purpose, and explore those possibilities.